Foreign workers living in dormitories can expect enhanced facilities to help them recover from COVID-19. The update from the multi-ministry task force comes 3 weeks after Forward Assurance and Support Teams, or FAST, were deployed to the dorms. Now, foreign workers in dormitories continue to make up the bulk of the daily new infections.
With systems to meet their basic needs and provide medical care now firmly in place, authorities are now looking to step up care for migrant workers in the most affected dormitories. On-site community care facilities, or CCFs, which house patients who test positive for the virus but have mild symptoms, will be set up within selected dorms. This means they no longer have to wait to be transferred to an external medical facility. In the same vein, community recovery facilities, or CRFs, to look after patients who are no longer infectious will be opened, also at selected dorms. And once a patient has recovered, they will be housed in specially designated blocks for recovered workers. The entire recovery plan will require some residents to be relocated. Authorities will work with dormitory operators to progressively create more of such spaces, with the end goal to enable the dormitory population to eventually resume work safely. The task force added the approach needs to move beyond just where the migrant workers are housed.
We will have to develop new strategies to monitor the health of the workers. I should add that it's not just what happens where the workers are housed. It is also what happens at the workplace. Even at work sites or elsewhere, the arrangements will have to change, and we will have to look seriously at how these workers can be kept safe if and when they are able to resume work.
The task force also shared that in terms of manpower, a total of close to 3,000 staff are now dedicated to supporting dorms. When it comes to the wider community, the task force said Singapore must brace itself for a long battle beyond the extended circuit breaker.
I think it would be premature for anyone, whether in Singapore or anywhere in the world, to assume that once we pass this particular wave, then say in June, July, the world will be free from COVID and life will be able to resume. No one can say that. And experts are already worrying about a second wave of infection around the world that may well coincide with the flu season and may be even more devastating than what we have today. So the basic posture has to be that we are in for a long fight. We have to remain vigilant and relax or adjust our measures very gradually, depending on the situation.
It added a comprehensive plan that will provide guidelines on how all workers can resume activities is also in the works.
Up to 7,000 care packages will be distributed to foreign workers who have recovered from COVID-19. Delivery of the care pack started today. Each pack contains items like toiletries, clothes and sanitizers. And they will come in handy when the workers are relocated after being discharged from the hospital. The initiative is spearheaded by a charity arm of the Hindu Endowments Board, with more than 25 Hindu temples and organizations raising over $100,000. Well, Singapore has reported 932 new cases of COVID-19 today, taking the tally to 17,101. The Health Ministry says the majority of the new infections continue to be migrant workers staying in dormitories. 5 new cases are Singaporeans or permanent residents. Meanwhile, the stay-home notice for foreign workers in the construction sector has been extended by 2 weeks until the 18th of May. The move affects all work permit and S-Pass holders along with their dependents. It comes as the number of infected foreign workers living outside of dormitories continues to rise. A joint statement by the Manpower Ministry, Health Ministry, and the Building and Construction Authority says these workers are different from those who had served their stay-home notice in isolation. And that's because they are likely to live in shared accommodation and have continued interactions with one another. Authorities hope the extension will help to break the cycle of transmission. To help affected employers, the Singapore Contractors Association Limited is setting up a COVID-19 fund for SMEs. President Halimah Yacob has highlighted that home-based businesses are an important source of income for many who have lost their jobs or income during the pandemic. Madam Halimat says these businesses are predominantly run by women, usually with caregiving responsibilities. She is glad they now automatically qualify for the Temporary Relief Fund when they register with the Singapore Malay Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She also hopes the Malay Chamber will assist them so they can benefit from the higher demand during this period. Madam Halima says she buys Hari Raya cookies from home-based businesses every year and is looking forward to doing the same this year when the circuit breaker restrictions are lifted. Her post comes after the government announced last Tuesday that such businesses would no longer be allowed to operate under enhanced circuit breaker measures.